Hello and welcome to the Durham Tech Instructional Video Environment, also known as DIVE. My name is Trey Thornton and I'll be your guide through this NOS-130 Windows Single User Instructional Video course, which covers part 1 of the upgrade and installation to the Windows 7 operating system. So with so much to cover, let's dive in. Okay, let's begin by going through the expected learning outcomes for this instructional video course. First, we will discuss the Windows 7 system requirements. Next, we will identify the different system upgrade paths to Windows 7, followed by a demonstration of the Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor. And lastly, we will go through the steps of performing an upgrade to Windows 7. Operating systems work properly only when you install them on computers that meet the minimum hardware requirements. I've provided the below chart to show the minimum hardware requirements for 32-bit and 64-bit system running Windows 7. Although, you should remember that these requirements are just for the operating system itself. But most people want to do more than just run an operating system. They also want to run applications. Applications require memory and storage space beyond that of the operating system minimum requirements. So I have also provided the recommended hardware requirements as well. For additional information regarding the Windows 7 hardware requirements, please see the below website. Now, if you recall in the previous Windows 7 overview video, we discussed the different versions of Windows 7, but they also come in two different processor architectures, 32-bit and 64-bit. With each processor type and Windows 7 version, there are limitations to the amount of memory that each system can support. I provided the below chart to show a comparison of each type of system and the maximum amount of memory that each one supports. If you notice, the main limitation comes in the 32-bit version, which only supports a maximum of 4 GB of RAM, so I would recommend going with a 64-bit system if possible. For additional information regarding the Windows 7 memory limitations, please see the website below. Now, we will discuss the possible upgrade paths to Windows 7. Microsoft published the below matrix to assist with determining each possible option of upgrading to Windows 7, but as you can tell, at first glance it seems a bit confusing, although it's not as overwhelming as it looks. To begin with, you will notice that on the left-hand side of the matrix are the versions you are upgrading from, and at the top of the matrix are the versions you are upgrading to. Also, each version shows the 32-bit and 64-bit options as well. Within the matrix, there are two different options, custom install and in-place upgrade. A custom install, also known as a clean install, is required in most cases according to the matrix. It gives you the option to either completely replace your current operating system or install Windows 7 on a specific drive or partition that you select. You can also perform a custom installation if your computer does not have an operating system, or if you want to set up a dual boot system on your computer. As a note, before performing a custom install, you will need to manually back up all of your files and settings and reinstall them manually, or use the Windows Easy Transfer utility, along with reinstalling all of your programs. On the contrary, if you are lucky enough to be able to perform an in-place upgrade, you will have the option to keep your files, settings, and programs intact from your current version of Windows. Now that you've been hypnotized by the previous matrix, I'll go ahead and show you a quick cheat sheet of which versions of Windows Vista can perform an in-place upgrade to certain versions of Windows 7. If you look closely at the chart below, you will notice the left column shows the potential Windows version you have, and the right column shows the possible options that you can perform an in-place upgrade to. First, just so you know, any Windows version prior to Windows Vista Home Basic, you will need to perform a custom install to any version of Windows 7 as shown in the previous matrix. Now, as you see on this chart, Windows Vista Home Basic and Premium can only be upgraded to Windows 7 Home Premium or Ultimate, while Windows Vista Business can only be upgraded to Windows 7 Professional or Ultimate. And lastly, Windows Vista Ultimate can only be upgraded to Windows 7 Ultimate. So, there are only a few options for performing an in-place upgrade to Windows 7 without having to transfer your files and settings, so make sure to check which upgrade path is right for you. Okay, now I want to take a minute to discuss the Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor program and then demonstrate how to use it. The Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor scans your PC for potential compatibility issues and lets you know about your Windows 7 upgrade option. Within minutes, you'll get a report that tells you if your PC meets the system requirements, if any known compatibility issues with your hardware devices and installed programs are found, and gives guidance on what to do before installing Windows 7 on your PC. Now before we begin, you will first need to go to the Windows website below and download the Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor program and install it on the version of Windows that you will be upgrading. Now, I will demonstrate how to use the Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor program. For the first part of this demonstration, I'll be using a Windows XP system, and then I'll move over to a Windows Vista system to show you a comparison of the two. So, to begin, let's open the Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor from the icon on the desktop. You will now see a start screen that explains the Upgrade Advisor. Please make note of the statement at the bottom of the screen that tells you to connect and turn on all of your devices. Then, you will begin the system check by selecting Start Check in the bottom right-hand corner. Once the Upgrade Advisor has finished the system check, it will come to this report screen that shows you the details of your upgrade options. At the top of the screen, it initially shows you the number of issues that were found that may be resolved. Next, under the system details, it will tell you whether you can perform an upgrade from your current version of Windows or if you will need to perform a custom install. As you can see, since I'm running Windows XP, it has reported that I will have to perform a custom install. Also, it will perform a hardware system requirement check to verify that your system meets all the minimum requirements. Lastly, it will check all of your devices and programs to determine if they are compatible with Windows 7. Once you're done with the Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor, you can close the program. Now, I have run the Upgrade Advisor on a Windows Vista Business 32-bit system to show you the difference from the Windows XP system. If you notice, there is a 32-bit and 64-bit tab at the top of the screen. Looking at the results for the 32-bit system check, I am able to perform an in-place upgrade to Windows 7 Professional, Ultimate, and Enterprise 32-bit systems. Although, when I switch over to the 64-bit tab, the report tells me that I will need to perform a custom install from my 32-bit system to any Windows 7 64-bit system. Now, I'm ready to perform an upgrade of my Windows Vista system to Windows 7. So I'll begin by making sure that I'm logged in as administrator of the system. Then, I will start the installation by navigating to the Windows 7 installation DVD and opening it. When prompted by the user account control, you will need to select Continue to allow the installation to proceed. Then, you will be prompted with the Windows 7 install window, and you will need to select Install Now. You will then be prompted to select whether or not you want to install the latest updates. It is recommended that you install the latest updates during the installation, although if you do not have an internet connection or want to save time during the installation, then you should select the Do Not Get Updates option, which I will do during this demonstration. On the licensing page, review the Windows 7 operating system license and then select the I accept the license term checkbox and select Next. On the Which type of installation do you want page, click Upgrade. The installation routine performs a compatibility check and then begins upgrading Windows. Depending on the speed of your computer you are upgrading, this step may take some time. The computer reboots several times during this process. On the Type Your Product Key for Activation page, you would enter the Windows 7 product key and select the Automatically Activate Windows When I'm Online checkbox and click Next, although I'm going to skip this step. On the Help Protect Your Computer and Improve Windows Automatically page, click Use Recommended Settings. On the Review Your Time and Date Settings page, ensure the time zone setting matches your local time and that your clock setting is accurate, and then click Next. If the installation routine detects a network during installation, you specify whether the network is a home network, a work network, or a public network. For this demonstration, I will select Home Network. After you complete these steps, you are logged onto the Windows 7 installation with the local administrative account. It may be necessary at this stage to install extra device drivers manually for hardware whose drivers were not installed automatically during installation. This completes the in-place upgrade process to Windows 7. As we come to the end of this instructional video, I would like to recap the items that were covered. First, we discussed the Windows 7 system requirements. Next, we identified the different system upgrade paths to Windows 7. Then, we performed a demonstration of the Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor. And lastly, we went through the steps of performing an upgrade to Windows 7. This concludes this NOS-130 Windows Single User Instructional Video course, which covered Part 1 of the upgrade and installation to the Windows 7 operating system. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it.